The thunderstorms are long gone, but the wind and flooding continues. I'll tell you what to expect tonight and tomorrow coming up.
And as a result of the storms this afternoon, many area roads flooded and reports of damage poured in. A look at the areas hardest hit.
The city of Springfield in hot water tonight over violations concerning the Open Meetings Act. A look at how it happened and if the city might be facing more trouble in the future.
Hooked on her book, a published author who hasn't even finished 9th grade lives right here in our area. Tonight, hear what inspires her to dream big. This is Nightside. Your news starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Fast, furious, and ever-changing. Tonight, the weather is our top story. Soaking rains, thunder, lightning, near hurricane-strength winds, and those warm temperatures, a recipe for tornadoes, one of which reportedly touched down in Morgan County. Behind me, as you can see here, video of it. It posted on the Facebook page of our news partner, WLDS Radio, and it was shot by a guy by the name of Tyler Stewart, who lives just outside of Concord.
Meanwhile, thousands across the state are still without power tonight as the wind keeps howling and the temperature keeps falling. And those winds are proving to be dangerous on the roads tonight. This was the scene earlier this evening on Interstate 55 between Farmersville and Litchfield. Illinois State Police tell us at least 3 semis overturned on southbound lanes, and another truck carrying a trailer also flipped due to the wind. Authorities tell us, thankfully, no one was hurt. For the latest conditions, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rick Kirby in the Weather Center. Rick?
Hey, Liz and Vince, yeah, the storm's long gone, but as you mentioned, that wind continues out there, and a high wind warning is still in effect for a good part of our viewing area. Wind advisory for the rest, or at least a good part of our viewing area. And as we look outside on the Prairie Hard Cam, just a few clouds. It's a partly cloudy sky tonight. If you're traveling tonight or have friends or family traveling, the severe weather threat now to our east in that yellow and orange. To the north, it's a blizzard warning. Over a foot, maybe 18 inches of snow over parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin, and the winds are strong up there as well. Here, that high wind warning really along I-72 and north. Winds have been up to 60 miles per hour at times tonight. We had a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust in Springfield. Those are starting to diminish, although they'll stay rather strong throughout the night tonight. We'll even start the first half of the day tomorrow with winds pushing 40 miles per hour at times. And our southeastern counties there, you can see, have a wind advisory. Winds there have been up to 55 miles per hour. A flood warning continues for parts of the viewing area, those streams, creeks, and rivers. The Sangamon River, the Illinois River out toward Beardstown is seeing a rise due to all of that melted snow and ice. And a look at those winds right now. Winds rather brisk still. There are the wind gusts currently, 45 miles per hour still in Champaign. Temperatures right now starting to cool. There's your first forecast. We'll tell you what's on tap tomorrow morning. And as we head toward next week, it looks like more Arctic air. I'll tell you about that coming up.
All right, Rick, thanks very much. Told you about that first tornado just outside of Concord. A second tornado touching down just outside of Mechanicsburg in Sangamon County. This one left its calling card. ABC News Channel 20's Brett Baldeck joining us live from that area where much of the area is dark tonight. Brett.
We are in Mechanicsburg, which appears to be one of the worst hit areas in Sangamon County. Let's not waste any time. I'll step out of the way so you can get a look at some of the damage. Trees, you know, no match for these powerful winds today. Camper was blown over on this street. A neighbor actually just came out and told us that the windows on his car were blown out. The fire chief says his crews have been at it nonstop since early this afternoon. Now you are looking at video off of Darnell Road. That was a camper until the storms rolled through. One woman was inside. She tells us she heard the warnings and was trying to tie stuff down. Then the camper started rolling. The good news, she did escape with only minor injuries. That was just one of a number of reports of damage throughout Mechanicsburg.
The worst being on Dakota Road, just east of Mechanicsburg. 2 large farm structures and a mobile home that were destroyed. Seed plant that is about a mile north of there was also destroyed.
Now, the fire chief tells us the entire town at one point was without power tonight. At this hour, there's still no power on the street that we're currently on. Now, we're told by the fire chief the National Weather Service will be out here tomorrow to survey some of this damage to determine if a tornado did in fact roll through this area. But many neighbors I spoke with this evening say from what they heard and what they saw, it was indeed a tornado. We hope to bring you the update tomorrow. We are live in Mechanicsburg. Brett Baldeck, ABC News Channel 20.
All right, Brett, thanks very much. Take a look at this damage from Pike County tonight. Our sister station, KHQA in Quincy, reports that a livestock building between Pittsfield and Detroit heavily damaged by today's storms. The building's manager says they were hard at work when the storm quickly blew in. Luckily, everybody was able to get out unharmed.
Flash flooding, another big problem following this afternoon's storms. Water-filled roads like this, common in many parts of the capital city, forcing drivers to turn the other way to avoid the standing water. And take a look at this video out by New Salem. Again, the amount of water on this road, enough for police to shut it down to keep drivers from getting in too deep. And here's a look at Route 54 to Riverton. It was closed for several hours earlier today due to flooding and actually just reopened within the last hour. Officials say a lot of the water is coming from melted snow piles and it's causing water to spill over onto roads across central Illinois.
A lot of traffic hazards because it'll push from the water will push towards the crown of the road to the center line, and then people will be trying to creep over to the center line and instead of slow down or just try to avoid some of those areas if possible.
When it cools down again like it has tonight, watch out for ice.
Turning to other news tonight, Capital City leaders speaking out after a circuit court judge ruling that they violated Illinois' Open Meetings Act. ABC News Channel 20's Garrett Berger telling us how they broke the law. He's joining us live here in the studio. Garrett.
Well, Vince, the decision stems from discussions the City Council had behind closed doors about privatizing the management of a city-run cemetery. A writer for the Illinois Times filed suit against the city for having that discussion away from public eyes. This is not the first time the city's been accused of violating the Open Meetings Act. The real question is, will it be the last? Behind closed doors in executive session. That's where Mayor Mike Houston and the City Council discussed privatizing the management for Oak Ridge Cemetery.
It was a policy issue. Should we do this? Should we consider doing this? And those are the very issues that are meant to be discussed in public.
Sangamon County Circuit Court Judge John Schmidt agreed, and in a ruling dated Tuesday ordered the city to release the tapes and minutes from that November 5th meeting. Attorney Don Craven is handling another open meetings case against the city, dealing with a joint labor management healthcare committee's closed-door vote to offer health benefits to civil union partners.
And unfortunately, there have been a couple of times when the knee-jerk reaction has been to close rather than talk about something in an open meeting.
Earlier this month, Craven requested the council revote on an ordinance he said was passed improperly. Alderman Frank Edwards also spoke against the move at the time. He also tells us he's tired of closed-door meetings.
We as aldermen, when the mayor says he wants to go into executive session, we have no idea why we're going in there.
The judge does say the city's violation was clearly not intentional, but he also orders the city not to violate the act in the future. If it does, it could be ruled in contempt of the court.
From here on, I think that there's any doubt, I'm just going to walk out. We obviously can't get it together.
The city had not released the minutes or tapes concerning Oak Ridge by the end of Thursday, but Alderman Sam Cammon says he will move to get the unredacted minutes out in the open.
This is the public's business, and they have a right to see and listen to this information.
Now, we also attempted to contact the mayor's office and the city attorney about this ruling as well. Our calls were not returned before airtime. Vince?
All right, Garrett, thanks very much. Now, the city can appeal the judge's order. So far, it hasn't.
Kincaid's mayor is jailed tonight and facing charges of violating a protection order and drug possession. The Christian County Sheriff's Office tells ABC News Channel 20 deputies arrested Mayor Doug Thomas this morning. The Sheriff's Office says Thomas violated an emergency order of protection, and they say the mayor is expected to also be charged with possession of a controlled substance. The Sheriff's Office would not comment further. Still ahead on Nightside, secret powers for the young. They exist according to the Glenwood High freshman who's written and published a book named just that. Meet her and her inspiration coming up.
And it's regional championship night in Lincoln for girls high school basketball. Donnie Tillman's going to have the details and all your highlights a little later in sports. making history. It's not just for people like Liz Foster. This country was built on dreams, and everyday families come here seeking just that.
Tonight, ABC News Channel 20, Chantel Middleton introduces us to a published author, a 14-year-old Chatham girl who isn't waiting to break barriers and accomplish her goals.
Wait, do you do like, wait, what are you doing?
Hey guys, we are getting close to the end of the hour. We're done at 10:40.
Her days, probably a lot like yours when you were just 14. Glenwood High School freshman Stella Gepnong has her favorite class with friends. Then she meets up with more friends and takes us for a quick tour with her twin sister Sonia.
That's how we stay close. No.
Like we like
is that the key to a good sisterhood, being to each other? Yeah, because then you're stuck with each other so long.
Circled around lunch, they talk about the good eats, cute boys, and books.
When I wrote it, it was just kind of like the idea popped into my mind. I've always had ideas of books to write.
Today's book, Secret Powers for the Young. That's the book Stella wrote about 4 girls separated and reunited. She started writing it at 11, finished at age 12, and spent the next year trying to get it published.
I would be glad if this is an opportunity to inspire other young kids her age, because I always tell my children that anything is possible as long as you're willing to focus and to learn very hard.
In the Gepnong family, there is no shortage of work ethic. Parents Isaac and Janine are just as proud as you would imagine. More so even considering the native French speakers moved their daughters to the States from Cameroon and West Central Africa for a better future.
Since we were young, our parents always told us that if we wanted something, we had to work hard for it.
That's Elvira, the oldest sister. The college junior is a standout student and dreams of going to med school. Second oldest Marlene is a senior at Glenwood High and the successful graphic artist behind online clothing store Shop Lucky Fox.
I feel like our challenge is just fitting in, kind of. It's like being different, but I feel like it kind of has an advantage.
Books are their comfort zone when they're apart, but together they are that for each other.
And we get it from our mom, because sometimes she's...
Our mom is the most hilarious person ever.
As transplants, these smart and sometimes silly young women have really learned to cling to each other and to their dreams.
I've always thought about Frederick Douglass. He was born a slave and he taught himself to read and write. So that's really cool, and it kind of shows me that I have all these blessings, and so I can learn how to do things better, maybe, and so, yeah.
That was Chantel Middleton reporting. The Gepnong girls actually struggled with English when they moved to the States. They got help mastering the language from summer camps at the Urban League in Springfield. Her parents credit Stella's teachers here in Illinois and in Maryland for encouraging her to write the book. Stella Gepnong's book, Secret Powers for the Young, is available online at Amazon.com.
Still ahead here tonight on Nightside, a local priest getting a big promotion from the Vatican, where he's heading to.
Well, the storms are gone. The wind, though, continues, and it will be around to a degree tomorrow morning. It's going to be a windy day to start our day. Look at that high today. Guess what? Colder weather's heading back at us, and it might be Arctic by this time next week. I'll tell you about it coming up. Hey, what a wild day today. We saw wind, we saw warm temperatures, melting snow and ice, heavy rain, thunderstorms, hail, lightning. We saw it all. Now, behind the storms tonight, of course, it is windy outside. Temperatures are starting to fall. There goes the severe weather right there with severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now for parts of the southeast. Here, we are looking at high wind and some flood warnings. To our north, these are blizzard warnings and winter storm warnings, up to 18 inches of snow in parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin with those big-time winds like we saw here. It is not a nice scene to our north. Here, we have this high wind warning until 3 a.m. for winds earlier up to 60 miles per hour. The winds are starting to diminish a little bit. So we're looking at 40, 45, maybe pushing 50 mile per hour winds at times here over the next several hours. After midnight, they'll lighten up a little bit, but it's going to stay windy all night, and even your first half of the day tomorrow. In our southeastern counties down here, it's a wind advisory. Winds have been a little bit lighter, but still incredibly strong, and hopefully anything you have outside is tied down tonight. There are the river flood warnings and flash flood warnings in effect here. These are all river flood warnings along the Illinois River, the Sangamon River. You can see these little streaming creek flood warnings as well. So if you're in those low-lying areas along streams, creeks, and rivers, look out for this flooding here tonight. The low-lying roads as well. They've been a mess at times today and tonight. The winds, a big story still. Still, you can see they're starting to weaken a little bit in our western counties. It's an 18-mile-per-hour wind in Jacksonville, but still 31 in Champaign with a wind gust of 44. Winds in our western counties here, 26-mile-per-hour gusts in Jacksonville, 25 in Taylorville. So it's good to see them diminish a little bit here over the past hour or so. Temperatures right now, compared to the weather we've seen, still very nice in the 30s, fairly comfortable. A lot of tornado touchdowns. You know, there were 12 tornado touchdowns reported in the United States today, all 12 here in Illinois, and almost all of them in our viewing area. One was in Arnsville in Cass County near Mechanicsburg. 3 miles east of Mechanicsburg was the official tornado sighting in Sangamon County. 2 miles south of Pana in a field in Christian County. Also 2 miles east of Pana in Christian County. 4 miles north of Tower Hill in Shelby County, and 3 miles west of Shumway in Effingham County. There was another tornado touchdown, and I've got some more for you right here. This is from Chapin in Morgan County from Janelle DeWitt from my Facebook. Very impressive there. Another incredible tornado shot here from Concord in Morgan County from Andy Shireman. And take a look at this. These winds have wreaked havoc on the highways. This is from Sandy Hostetler showing some overturned semis on the highway in I-55. Numerous reports of this, and it has not been a good day to be out driving around. This is one pretty neat shot, though. Take a look at this. A rainbow after the storms landing right on the Capitol building. Is that where the rainbow ends, or is that where they spin the gold? Go over to my Facebook for more pictures from the storms today. Here's our computer model microcast showing a few clouds tonight becoming partly cloudy. Most of us already are. Tomorrow we'll see some sunshine, low pressure leaving the area. There goes the big winter storm and the severe weather down here. I do want to show you this time lapse quickly. Watch these storms come at our camera, and you look at that, you saw some lightning and maybe a little hail as well. Unbelievable. 27 overnight tonight, 46 tomorrow. Winds start out strong, diminish a bit in the afternoon. Your 7-day show will show colder weather for the weekend. It's no chance of Monday night. I mentioned some Arctic air. Look at Thursday's high. 1 week from today, we'll see a high of 18. We may go sub-zero that night.
A Springfield priest is headed to Kansas after Pope Francis named him the new bishop for the Roman Catholic Diocese of Wichita. Monsignor Carl Kemme will be Wichita's 11th bishop. It's an appointment he says he was shocked to find out that he was the selection, but also one he's very excited about. In a statement on a Diocese of Springfield blog, Kemme says he'll miss the place and the people that he has served for so long, but he'll bring the lessons that he's learned here in Central Illinois to his new parish and state and new diocese.
The Diocese of Springfield in Illinois has been my home for 53 years. For 28 of those years, I have had the extraordinary blessing to be a priest. I have loved each and every moment.
Kemme will be ordained May 1st in Wichita. He'll replace former Bishop Michael Jackals, who was appointed Archbishop in Iowa. To see Kemme's complete statement, just go to our website, WICS.com.
New tonight, Passavant Hospital in Jacksonville announces its next president and CEO. Doug Rahn is currently the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at Memorial Health System here in Springfield. He will now be taking on the head role at Passavant. Rahn has been at Memorial since 2006 and held similar positions before that. According to a chairwoman at Passavant Area Hospital, the decision to hire Rahn was unanimous. The title will not be official for Rahn until the pending affiliation goes through for Passavant to become a part of Memorial's health system. Rahn is replacing former CEO Chester Wynn, who is retiring. Sports Director Donnie Tillman joins us now to get a little look at the sports.
Yeah, and the key to the next level starts tonight for area girls basketball.
That's right, a lot of excitement for those girls basketball teams, and I tell you what, some hardware up for grabs as well tonight in Carlinville and Lincoln. All the highlights are next in sports. Good evening, sports fans. Tonight is sectional championship night in small school girls hoops. Riverton looking for its first sectional title in 10 years. The Lady Hawks taking on Pleasant Plains for the hardware. We start with the first quarter. It's Carly Cuffle tries to air it to Alyssa Koger, but it's stolen by Emily Yackel, who goes solo for the layup. She scores the first points for the Cardinals. She had 11 points on the night. Later, Koger passes across the key to Kirsten Burge, who jukes and pops it for the jumper. The Plains still led by 4 at that point, close to the end of the quarter. Cuffle tries the long 3, and it's good with that shot. She got her team going and had 19 points in the night. Second quarter now, all Riverton. It's Morgan Heckman who gets the deuce to net 2 of her 16, and Riverton wins their first sectional in 10 years, 46-36. All right, to Class 3A we go now. Rochester and Taylorville battling for the Lincoln Regional title tonight. Kylie Clemens goes for the tray, and she gets it to fall through the net. Rochester leads at 37-20. Back comes Taylorville, though. Abby Motes to Macy Brown. She gets the basket. Rochester still in the lead, however. All right, later it's Brown to Motes, and she's going to put it up and drain it through the net. But Rochester is a regional champion at Lincoln. Lauren Sapetti over to Sammy Kearney, and she finds the net for 2, and Rochester takes it home 55-40.
I felt like the end of the first quarter, we made a nice little run there about the last minute and a half of the quarter, and from there just kind of extended it. So feel pretty good. It's a great win over a really good team.
Rochester moves on to the U-High sectional Monday against the winner of Centennial and Mount Zion tomorrow. All right, to boys hoops now. Williamsville hosting Pawnee Senior Night at Williamsville. We'll start our highlights with Cade Pusey, who finds Garrett Galloway, and he goes the 3 away. He gets it through the net for 3 points. Later, it's Nick Dellard, who knocks down the tray for the home team, Williamsville. Watch Cale Henneman coming up right here for Pawnee. He gets the rebound, and watch the lean back reverse that goes through the net. Pretty play right there, but Williamsville wins again. Adam Watson, you leave him open, he's going to stop, pop, and drop for 3. Williamsville's a winner 58-33. Also, congrats to the Nokomis boys basketball coach Steve Kimbrough on his 700th career victory tonight. All right, to the NFL now, combine news as the players get ready to report for testing and examining and all that other good stuff. Some news about the Chicago Bears released today. Actually, Bears head coach Mark Trestman announced that Shea McClellan will move from defensive end to linebacker. Also, McClellan and linebacker John Bostic will compete at both middle and strong side spots. The Bears say they will have an emphasis on defense in the upcoming NFL draft. To the Winter Olympics now on the ice. Springfield's Gracie Gold misses the medal stand after falling today. She winds up 4th. Russia would take the gold. And the U.S. women's hockey team is stunned in the gold medal game versus Canada. The U.S. led throughout the contest until the Canadians were able to tie it late in the 3rd period. 8 minutes into overtime, Marie-Philip Poulin scored with under a minute to play and then scored the game winner. And Canada takes a 4th straight gold medal. Now here's where we stand as far as the medal count is concerned. Norway leading the pack. The U.S. moves into 2nd with 25 total medals. Germany, Russia, and Canada round out your top 5. Briefly, Riverton's Justin Allgaier will start 40th among the 43 drivers for this Sunday's Daytona 500 race. Allgaier will race in the number 51 car. That's your look at sports. We'll be right back.
All right, there's your 7-day. Remember these the low-lying areas, streams, creeks, and rivers flooding tonight. Windy as well. Winds diminishing a bit overnight tonight. Still breezy tomorrow. Much colder next week.
Okay.
Don't see any more 60s in that forecast.
No.
Well, that's it for Nightside.
Thanks for joining us as always. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day.